Today is a crazy and wild day for silver because it has reached a new all-time high. In this film, we'll talk about what happened and how close we are to $100 silver. Music. During our Sunday night market watch, we saw both gold and silver hit all-time highs. But silver wasn't done yet. It went up to 86.25 today. Definitely a wild ride. It's crazy that it went over $86. It has gone down from that high, but it is still very close to $85 right now because silver has gone up over 6% today. At the start of the day, the difference was much bigger than that. On the other hand, these prices are truly mind-boggling. We'll talk about these facts soon. The channel is made possible by Summit Metals, which I'd like to thank. Check them out. Whether you're buying or selling silver, you can enjoy great customer service. To see them, click on the link at the end of this sentence. Here are all of today's numbers. Even though everything is going up, silver has done much better than any other metal. I'll tell you that gold to silver amount right now. The price of gold has gone up by 1.84%, or $82.90 to $4,193.70. Early in the day, though, gold hit $4,631.10, which was another record high. It's late for business. The price has gone down a bit. Silver is going up by $4.96 right now. Right now, just before the markets close, I'm giving you these numbers. It went up 6.21% to $84.92. The trade session that began at 6 p.m. Eastern Time last night saw a huge jump in prices. We saw it live as silver broke through $84 and went $2.25 above that. Before it was all over, it was truly amazing. Another very good day for platinum is about half of what a good day it was for silver, 3.23% more, or $73 to $23.43. Palladium is up 2.28%, or $41 to $188.3. Rhodium also went up by 2.65%, which means it's now worth $250 more. The price being asked for rhodium is $10,350. So cool and amazing. The price difference between gold and silver is now only 54.18. That's right. That's interesting. It's pretty amazing to see the ratio of gold to silver get so low. It means that silver is doing its thing, and a lot of people think it still has a long way to go before it hits the 33-to-1 ratio we saw in 2011. I think that's the next best way to figure out what's going on with the bull runs. I believe that 1980 can be pretty much wiped out unless we see, say, 6, 7, 8, or 10. David Bateman has stepped in and started buying a lot of silver. It's the only way to really compare it to 1980. Now, mining.com has an article about what's going on with gold and silver prices right now and why they're changing. Then we'll answer the question, when do you think we'll see $100 silver? Monday, both gold and silver prices set new highs. This was because investors rushed into safe haven metals like gold and silver because they were worried about the U.S. Federal Reserve and its ability to act on its own. Oh, it turns out that was part of the reason why the price went up so much last night. As the day went on, the prices of gold went over $4,600, silver over $84, and gold over $86. Uncertainty about the Federal Reserve, Fed, because U.S. President Donald Trump has been attacking the bank and its leaders over and over again, was one of the main reasons why valuable metals set record after record last year. If the government couldn't control inflation as well, it would hurt the dollar and the budget. However, gold would become more popular as a way to save money. Of course, part of me doesn't really get why the market is responding so strongly to Trump or the Fed chair, and the fact that the Federal Reserve may be being investigated for spending money on building upgrades over the last 5 years. A great deal of cash has been used. It seems like something that should be looked into. I guess so. But I do think the time is pretty good. The Justice Department is, of course, meant to be separate. Oh, and Trump has told them to look into other things too. But there shouldn't be so much public pressure on this. Anyway, there's got to be something going on there. That being said, it is still interesting, and he is leaving. He's not very smart, things aren't going very well, but some people say he could stay on the board. He can also make things happen if he stays on the board. He's not going to be the head. There are a lot of things working in favor of precious metals right now, such as dropping US interest rates and rising geopolitical tensions. People say that Iran could fall at any time, or at least that the government could fall, which would mean that the Ayatollah would have to leave power. We'll see how that goes. That is still playing a part, though. There's also the situation in Venezuela, which is still pretty hot and heavy right now. More than a dozen money managers said they have decided not to take too much money out of the gold market because they think it will have a long-term appeal. Gold is getting close to its day high, and its rise is due to a rise in political, monetary, and geopolitical risk, which is making people want safe investments even more. Given the situation, a move toward $5,000 soon seems very likely. Noah Ali wrote as a macro planner, "I haven't even made my movie about how much gold will cost in 2026 yet. Oh, wait for that video. I need to do it soon." So, what is this new, stronger attack on the Fed all about? As you may know, this study says that gold had its best year since 1979 in 2025, with a gain of 65%. Over 140% was even better for silver perform. But it looks like that rise will continue this year. Even though Trump is making its attack on the Fed stronger, Chair Jerome Powell could be charged with a crime after the Justice Department served him with a grand jury subpoena. This means that the Fed could be hacked more, which could be a key bullish factor for the valuable metals in 2026. According to Karsten Mann of Julius Baers, the smaller size of the silver market makes it more sensitive to changes in rates and the dollar. This means that it is more likely to respond strongly to outcomes and worries of this kind. The possible indictment by the Fed shows how unclear the markets are right now. Xiao Jonah, chief financial strategist at Saxo Markets in Singapore, says that the institution risk premium is being brought up again by news stories about geopolitics and growth rates. Please keep in mind that this is mostly based on feelings. This latest part of the bull run for silver could last, especially if the case goes to grand jury. I don't know when the grand jury evidence is going to happen, but a lot of people will have ideas about what might happen. It's possible that the Fed chair put out a video calling it a political attack on the Federal Reserve. However, Trump has been very clear about what he wants the Fed to do. In a way, the Fed has also done this. Some people argue about what's going on and other things, but you can make a case either way. But I'm telling you, this building project seems to have wasted a lot of money on it, and maybe it should be looked into. It seems like it happened at an odd time, and I think that investigation might not have happened if the Federal Reserve or its chair had been compliant and really pushed to get interest rates as low as Trump wants them to be. I think that investigation should happen because so much money was wasted there. We'll see. That's a point of view. Still, all the talk, worry, and feeling about this doesn't really change what's going to happen with the Fed. I think it's more likely that they'll cut again. We know cuts are coming no matter what, but they might decide to stop, because Trump is likely to choose someone who is in favor of lowering interest rates, and that's likely to happen. Either way, that will likely be good for gold and silver in the future. But the shock of this charge or investigation will probably run its course. There are other things going on as well, like what I'm going to talk about next, that could cause silver to rise much higher and faster, maybe even to $100. Silver is getting help from the same things that gold is getting help from: a lack of supply. Fears of a US tax on the metal have caused warehouses to empty their silver stocks, as we saw during the London silver squeeze in October. The price of silver on the Shanghai Gold Exchange and the SHF is still over $91 an ounce. We think that the silver market gap will last until 2026, mostly because more people want to invest their silver. A note from a unit at Fitch Solutions says that industrial usage has also made the physical market much tighter than ever before. Traders with a lot of money are pouring into commodities because of a speculative rush in China over the past few weeks. New investors were scared of a high-risk rise in premiums over the value of the fund's core assets, so the country's only pure-play silver fund had to turn them away. That's what's going on, and we can see the rally kind of building on top of itself with people that are pushing the price up in one way or another. I also think those problems will only get worse, which means that $100 silver could happen very soon. I asked people on my live stream for Market Watch last night what they thought, and 77% said they thought we could see $100 silver in 2 months. At the rate we're going now, it might happen even sooner. That's crazy. However, keep in mind that this is just an emotional response, and emotions are often caused by overreacting. In other words, I know I'm going to say it because I want to be honest about silver. Actually, we're in the middle of an extended rally, which I've already called that in earlier assessments. But this rally will eventually end, and this part of the rally, which is being driven by fears of the Federal Reserve, might end even faster. This means that prices could go back to where they were before, which is somewhere in the high 7s or low 80s, while we get through this latest situation. It all depends on what happens. This could go on for a while. Let's see how it goes. But I still think, and I'm going to stick with my original prediction from January 1st, that silver could reach $100 before it's all over. Feel free to tell me what you think in the area below. I hope this video taught you something new and interesting. Thank you so much for watching, and please rate, share, review, and subscribe. Music.